Texans select Kamari Lassiter with their first pick of the draft, number 42 overall. Generated a lot of discussion, lot to like, lot to question, lot to wonder about. Let's hear from the man himself as well, breaking down Kamari Lassiter in the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey. Locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we about to do. Localize every angle's what we really do.
Most anticipated pick of the draft for the Houston Texans, 42 overall. Texans select Kamari Lassiter, cornerback out of Georgia. A lot of people were hoping for Kool-Aid McKinstry. Some were hoping for Dejin out of Iowa. Corner, an area of need. The defensive tackle position, also a popular talking point. That one kind of disappeared before the Texans made their selection. And there were some other options, but at the end of the day, they decided on Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia. 44 games in 3 seasons, 2 national titles at UGA. And we'll hear from him. But first, let's hear from his coach. We hear the Texans a lot of times talk about, makeup and football players and stuff like that. And Nick Caserio has already kind of criticized, the talk about Lassiter's 40 time. But I don't know if you remember this, but Georgia, after getting stiffed in the college football playoff, they played their bowl game. They completely dominated. And Kirby Smart went to the podium afterwards, and he had praise for his players. And in particular, someone that he said that he actually advised not to play. If you're a Texans fan and you're watching that, you just kind of browse over it and say, okay, meaningless bowl game, Kirby Smart praising a player. But now that you know that it was Kamari Lassiter, this is probably the type of endorsement that Nick Caserio, DeMeco Ryans were getting from one of the most respected coaches in college football. Here is Kirby Smart talking about Kamari Lassiter after the game against Florida State.
Kamari Lassiter had a 1-2 grade, first, second round grade. And Kamari had to make a tough decision like all these other people. And I called Kamari in and I talked to him and I told him, Kamari, you should come out for the draft. That's my opinion. You're one of the top corners in the draft. You got to make that decision. Okay, that's one decision. Then the second decision is you got to decide if you want to play this bowl game. I don't know that you got a lot to gain in this bowl game, Kamari, but I do know who you are. And I do know how you practice, and I do know how you lead. But I'm not going to be disappointed in anything you decide. He came back about 3 or 4 days later, and I met with him and his mom and talked to him and fully expected him not to play in this game. He called me 2 days later, said, Coach, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sitting down. I'm over there coaching. I can't do it. I want to be out there. I want to play with my guys. And I think he did it against his mother's will, to be honest. Now, I don't know that, but I think he did it against his mother's will because that's who he is. So all these teams that go shopping, this dude right here wants to play football. That's all he cares about is playing football and his teammates. He ain't worried about the next thing and all that and all that. He said, I want to play football. And he played football for the University of Georgia. And he did it when he didn't have to do it. And that's what's different at this place than a lot of other places. Thank you.
There you go. Shots fired at Florida State on the way out. But that's the type of endorsement that I'm sure that Nick Caserio and company got when it came to Kamari Lassiter. Look, as far as the Kamari Lassiter pick goes, I said this heading into the draft. There's always the debate about draft for need. Should you draft for need? Did they draft for need? I think there's a chance that the Texans drafted for need. And if they were going to draft for need, I think corner was one of the biggest needs. You have Derek Stingley, but as we know, Derek Stingley, even in his best moments in the last 4 years of playing football, he's missed significant time. He's missed a significant chunk of time. So you need depth at corner. On the other side of Derek Stingley, you have 2 guys in Okudah and Henderson that, for lack of a better term, have been disappointments and kind of draft busts. So you need some competition there. You don't know whether either one of those guys is going to be able to hold it down. The one thing that I think that the Texans do deserve the benefit of the doubt in, and this is not the case with the next pick they made on the offensive line. But the one thing that I think the Texans have done a good job at is evaluating cornerbacks, specifically Caserio and his staff. The Stingley versus Sauce thing, obviously Sauce has more accolades, but I don't think you can say that they they misplayed that. Kicking the tires on Steven Nelson, I think they got as much as they possibly could out of him. Knowing when to bring back Desmond King, even some of the guys that they had contribute when the secondary was depleted last year. I think they've done a really good job with corners. So that's the case for Kamari Lassiter. We'll get into the best case, worst case scenario for him. But first, let's hear from the man himself. Here is Kamari Lassiter being introduced to the Houston media.
And here with the Texans, and what do you want Texans fans to know about what you're going to bring to a really good football team?
I feel like, I can play anywhere in the secondary, wherever the coaching staff and the staff, above needs me. I feel like I can go and play, do it at a high level. The Texans fans, you guys, again, somebody who's the ultimate competitor, someone who's a real life dog, someone who hates to lose, hates losing more than he loves winning. Someone who will stop at nothing to be successful.
Jonathan?
Kamari, congratulations. I'm curious.
Thank you.
Yeah, before you got drafted to the Texans, what were your interactions with them? Did you meet with them much? And what were your impressions?
Thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I met with the Texans at the combine, and then I also met with them via Zoom later in the process. Thank you. And everything, I feel like everything went very well. I feel like, I made a good impression on them, and I really fell in love with the coaching staff, just from, how wholesome they were, just off the beginning, not even knowing us. So I feel like, the coaching staff was someone who I could really click with and really be able to play up under.
Aaron Wilson?
Kamari, congratulations on joining the Texans. The competition in the SEC, how much do you feel like that really prepared you for what you're going to have here in the NFL? And what are some of your goals you'll have for your rookie season? Thank you.
I feel like, playing in the SEC is like a direct pipeline to, playing in the league. You play some of the best players in the country. You play in the best conference and you play the best football. And, I was blessed to be able to play that, for the last 3 years. And it really helped me become a better man and a better football player. My rookie season, I just feel like I want to come in and I just really want to earn the respect of my teammates and my coaches and be able to, show them that I'm someone who's reliable. And I'm someone that you can count on to do whatever it is that you want me to do.
Brian Bearfield?
Hey, Mark, welcome to Houston. Brian Bearfield, Big Sarge Media. Everybody just called me Sarge, so around here just call me Sarge. I want to ask you two quick questions. One, how do you feel knowing that you're going to be playing for a defensive-minded coach like DeMeco Ryans? And can you explain the change to us?
Could you repeat that last part of the question, please? Sorry about that.
Oh, I just want to know if you can explain the on-lock chain to us after you.
Okay, I got you.
You're playing for DeMeco Ryans.
Yes, sir. But playing for Coach Ryans, I feel like it'll be great. I was best player on Coach Martin. He's a very heavily defensive-minded guy, so I feel like it's going to be a pretty good transition. But I'm excited, get in there and learn up under Coach Ryans. And the chain, I call myself the locksmith, and I pride myself on having stuff on lock. So I really wanted to get a lock and just put the name Locksmith Lassiter on there, and then just kind of say I got this on lock right now. So
okay.
Cole Thompson?
Kamari, welcome to Houston, man. Congratulations on the pick. Just when you look back at your time in the SEC, what do you remember about a guy like Derek Stingley, who's translated to this defense? And also, another part of the question, you got to play against C.J. Stroud in the college football playoff back in 2022. What do you remember about him and how has he grown? And then how excited are you to be able to play with a quarterback that is being considered one of the rising stars in the industry?
I'll put it like this: C.J. Stroud gave us hell in the Peach Bowl. I don't remember him. I don't remember too many passes hitting the ground, and that was one of the few games that we really just didn't really have a true answer for the quarterback. So that's one thing that I vividly remember my sophomore year. We scraped out of there barely, but to answer what was the first part of your question again?
As another cornerback that's been able to translate to the NFL from the SEC, what have you seen from a guy like Derek Stingley, and what do you think you can learn underneath him during your time here?
Oh, Derek Stingley. I mean, just watching him whenever I was still in high school, I was like, dang, this man is just. I mean, when you talk about just pure raw talent, just a true corner, a guy who can just go out there and just play anywhere on the field and be able to run and go with the best of them. I feel like Derek Stingley is definitely one of those guys. And I feel like just being able to kind of learn up under from a guy like that who's been in the league for a couple of years and kind of earn respect around the league. I feel like that's someone who I could definitely take parts of his game and add on the line.
Kim Davis.
Hey, welcome to Houston and congratulations. I'm Kim Davis from Chalk Talk. I just want to follow up, kind of piggyback on what Cole just said about how do you think you fit in with this offense from what you've seen and with some of the people that you mentioned at Derek Stingley. What is it about you that we should know about how you can help this defense? I mean,
I feel like the Texans are coming back with a different kind of mindset. They bringing a different approach to the game, and I feel like the staff is bringing a lot of the guys who have the same mindset. Guys who really want to be successful, we're willing to eat off the floor, and I feel like I add that to the team, and I feel like that's why I was blessed to be an addition to the team.
Thank you.
Last one for Aaron. Oh, sorry, Chance. We'll get you next. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Kamari, when it comes to the nickel position, how comfortable are you lining up, doing that, playing against guys in the slot? Is that something you have a significant amount of experience in? What is your approach
This is big right
to
here. Just
playing
big.
nickel or playing outside? Thank you.
I feel like I'll be very confident. I've been practicing nickel all throughout my college career, and I only started at one time, but I always was able to get a couple reps here and there. And I feel like if I really needed to do it, I'd be able to do it at a very high level.
All right, we'll close with Chancellor and Jonathan. Go ahead, Chancellor Johnson.
Hey, Kamari, congratulations. Obviously, with the NFL draft, you never know where you're going to end up at. What was your initial thoughts to getting the phone call from the Texans, knowing that you're coming to Houston and playing within the organization?
Man, I've been saying for a long time, I was like, man, I really want to go to Houston. And I was just, saying it, very slightly, not knowing that, it was going to come true. And I got the call earlier, and it was just surreal. You dream about having that call your whole life. And my phone disconnected. I had bad service, so I hung up right in the middle of the phase. But man, whenever I got the call back and it was the fifth drop, man, it was just a wave of emotion. See my mom, my grandma, my pops, all my family here, and just seeing everybody just be so happy. It's something that I'll never forget.
Quick follow up to that. You said you always wanted to go to Houston. Why is that? Why you really want to go to Houston? Why is that?
I feel like, coming up in this draft process, I watched Houston play this year, and I was like, that's a young team, and, I feel like, that's somewhere where I would really enjoy playing. How you always, watch football and you think teams where you feel like you will be able to fit in and you think that you will enjoy playing at. And I feel like Houston is one of those places.
Go ahead, Jonathan. Last one.
Mariah, I do
Crazy.
like
This is the destination now.
Where
Thank you.
did you get it custom made? Like how did that?
Nah, he bought it
You
straight
Yes,
off
sir.
the rack.
So the way I had it made, my pops actually designed it for me. He actually had the idea made. He was like, you should get a lock. You call yourself a locksmith. So it's a lock, and the only person who got a key is me. So the key goes inside of the the little right there. So I'm the only person who has a key to this lock. That's why I got it on lock.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. That's Kamari. Of course, he got it custom made, Jay. I love me some JA, but that's Kamari Lassiter. Look, the makeup, it's easy to see why got someone like DeMeco Ryans and Nick Caserio, the hardo football guys, like Lassiter. From a need perspective, you need corner depth. Even in the best case scenario, as we've talked about with Stingley. Where does Lassiter fit in? That'll be interesting. I know he said that he can line up inside. Nick Caserio basically said he's a football player. He can play anywhere. What does that look like? What do the guys that they bring in look like? Like, does Jeff Okudah hold down the other side to where, Lassiter can kind of feel his way and find other ways to contribute? I know there's been talk about the Georgia scheme that perhaps maybe it even kind of held him back a little bit. I don't know about all that, but we'll get to see that. But let's just go through the best case, worst case, as we talk about the Texans' first draft pick. And be sure to subscribe, like, right along if you are new. This is the Locker Room, #1 source for Texans digital content. I think the best case for Lassiter that he's a contributing corner near the top of the depth chart. If that's 1 through 4 and you have good depth, that's solid. But in the short term, contributing corner and plays his way into being a guy that's one of your solid top 3 corners. I know people talk about starting and all that. You need 3 corners, and you probably need more than that. So best case, he's a contributor near the top of the depth chart this year. Hell, maybe he even at times is called upon to start. But he's just one of those guys who figures stuff out first year. Worst case is that he doesn't fit. The athleticism kind of sticks out. That was questioned. And the toughness doesn't matter because he's not able to keep up with guys. That's the worst case scenario. And then the realistic expectations, I think being a contributing guy that can line up inside, outside, be called upon. Just someone who there's no doubt this guy's going to be active on Sundays and contributing. Again, first year for corners, it's arguably one of the hardest positions to play. So we'll see how it goes with him, with Lassiter. But a lot to like from the intangible standpoint. The draft nerds, they'll question the athleticism and all that because that's how it happens. But at the end of the day, the Texans, they need help at corner. And if they were going to draft for need, this wasn't they could have done a lot worse than Kamari Lassiter. Subscribe, like, right along. That's the breakdown of the Texans #42 pick. We'll get into the other ones, including one that really had the internet going nuts. This has been the Locker Room. Appreciate you for coming through. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Locker Room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey.